Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer. Welcome back to PCM21 Career Mode episode 140. We're at La Vuelta. It's stage 11 and it is the individual time trial. We've already gone through much of the team, but we're getting into those final three guys, the top 10 out on course. Now, what I've done so far is I experimented first with Sifsi and Kyakovchi because this is a tough time trial. 38 kilometers with a big old climb in it. It's not the steepest climb, but 12K at 4.5%, maxing out at 7.1. And then on the descent side of things, it's not that major of a descent. So being in a position to shoot a little past the start point here. Oh, Karaman! Oh, you better believe we're going to push a 77 with that. Well, let's push a 76 initially and then push 77 later on. 75 is kind of the baseline that I found we could maintain. 76 can be done, and you can see here with Gonzalez Albiol, he is nearly out of gas here. But once you get over the top here, you don't need anything else on that final descent. It'd be nice to have that little bit, and I think we're going to back off to a 75 for him over this last few hundred meters. But you can maintain that for a pretty long time. And as a weaker time trialist, I think Petrov needs to be at a 75. So far, so good. Ryabovas put in a decent time, minute and a half off the pace. Martin Guerrero, 1 minute off the pace, 0 for the race day conditions, I believe, for those guys. And Gonzalez Albiol is headed for that finish line right now. Second place, 4 seconds down on Filippo Ganna. And he only had, with a really good race day condition, he only had an 81. Filippo Ganna is an 85 base, and we were just 4 seconds off his pace. So yes, we are managing things well. Okay, well up the climb here for Petrov. I think we might be able to go back up to a 76 here at some point, but risking it is, well, risky. So we'll hold off a little bit longer. But Isakov, I think we can just about get away with maintaining the 76. He's got that +3, it's giving him 78 mountain, 79 on the time trial. It's not going to quite be the time we saw elsewhere, but we're going to back off to a 75 for a little bit here. Aries goes top on same time as Filippo Ganna. Will that hold up when they go back and check it? Or will Filippo Ganna still be on top? It doesn't matter because Theo Gegenhardt has taken over the lead. He is the other contender that, well, could be contender that is providing a quality time, a challenging time. Petrov can definitely push that 76, and Karaman's going to have to back off now to a 76 or even a 75 to get to the end. Isakov, iffy, but I think he's going to make it over the top. Gonzalez Albiol is dropped to 4th, but it's still a very competitive time. And final 2K here for Isakov. Attacking for the line, and 20th. Minute 50 down. Not bad. Not bad. Petrov. Oh, Petrov had a little bit extra in the tank, I see. But we'll push here towards the end. That's 82nd, 3:53 down. He's not putting in a good time. Karaman is nearly over the top of the spot he needs to be in, and he's got just that little bit left in the tank. And you can see we've almost caught somebody. We have almost caught somebody as we push for the finish line. Second place, 15 seconds behind Gegenhardt. What a time. But here is Bernal, who put in a fantastic first sector, and he is third at 52 seconds down. You're going up against God. He is just so OP. So OP. Is he an 85 overall? I wouldn't be surprised. I would not be surprised. The other guy, totally absent. Bernal, though, barely gained anything. Great time trial from Karaman. Second place on the stage. Second place overall, but Bernal leads by a half minute. Carapaz, The other guy falls to third, from first to third, but he's only 10 seconds behind us. He's going to be difficult to stay ahead of. Good news, though, is we have an almost 2-minute advantage over Moss, almost 2.5 over Hagita, and then everybody else is out of range. So our shot at a podium is looking pretty dang good right now. Bernal, though, heavy favorite over these last 10 stages with that 85 mountain, with the 83 hills, whatever it is, 80 billion stamina resistance, and that it does not feel like much of an exaggeration, does it? So it's Arnsman at 5 down, Reese just behind him, Isakov only 1 second off Reese, and Reese, of course, was one of those breakaway riders who is still in the mix. Verona falls down the order a little bit, but he's still in the top 10. And then Gegenhardt, after winning the stage, has climbed up the ranks from about 20th at the start of the day, maybe 16th at the start of the day, all the way up to 10th. And then you've got, at least 3 to 4 breakaway riders who gained a big chunk of time in recent stages that are in that mix for the top 15. So Petrov actually still has a chance at getting a top 10, but of course our focus is entirely on Karaman. It's just good to see some teammates are doing well. So we're on stage 14, and we've already gone the 2 hardest climbs of the day. The easiest climb is coming up, and then the finishing climb isn't much. And while the day hasn't been easy, I have managed things right to the edge, just right, that even my domestiques have saved enough energy and are still present in the group and recovered, as we are seeing the first attack of the day. This is including Palace, Adria, Sao. These are contenders, Bokunoge. So we are still pretty early in this climb, but with 20k to go, I'm going to have to respond to this. But Sifsi is in the middle of bringing water, so let's let him finish that effort, see if anybody's chasing this back in the short term. Sifsi really needs to actually make that effort. There you go. Come on, get up there, buddy. Get up there. Get up there. Okay, group is being chased. Sifsi still has 1 guy to go in Kikovji. Has not made it as of yet. He's out of red bar, but he's got the yellow bar. He'll get over the top here and then make a move here shortly. And I think we're okay chasing those guys. They will have expended a lot of energy, and we're done now. We're going to wait for the final climb to do the pursuit. Just got to make sure that group, which is all together, doesn't get too far out in front.
This time it could go all the way. The finish line is getting close. The riders just passed the 5 kilometers road sign.
All right, so we've managed that effort. We have our whole group. We have a small group that have attacked and have a 47-second advantage. But the great news, those guys expended a lot of extra energy, and I have this full team at my disposal. Isakov and Sifsi, the only ones that were further back. There's the whole team now as we reach the base. So setting ourselves up for what is to come. It's one hard, steep final climb, but it's only 7k. And Karaman, even though he's only got a +1 today, is at full strength and has full team support. So let's set this thing up to go, well, I would think fairly hard. We'll set it up as like an 89, and let's get somebody like Gonzalez Albiol at the back of this. He's on a -3, and he was a domestique today, thinking that, the stage would be a lot harder than it has turned out to be. So, Bovis, 81, 81. Who's higher placed? Okay, Isakov. Isakov is also going to follow behind for a little bit, and that means we're going to follow Martin Guerrero. Okay, that sets us up with Petrov, who is 13th. That's an 80. Do I want to get him? We'll gel up for Kikovji. I'm going to go 89 for Sifsi because some of the team is going to try to line up behind him, and they're all going to block him off for a moment there. So there you go. I've got him through. going to suddenly stretch the field, which is going to give us the opportunity for these guys to get in place here fairly quickly. Kovji there coming through. Okay, now we have a minute 15 to catch that group, and that's not easy on this short of a climb, but we are in full control, going pretty much on full gas here. It's 6K to go now. And Sifsy's, you know, ever so slightly punchy. Give him that 99 sprint. This is Venturi and Higuita trying to attack, and we've already knocked that one out, so there's his efforts for the day wasted. And start gelling up further behind. Karaman, no red bar being used, but the guys behind him are, which suggests that they lost the wheel there for a second. Gonzalez Albiol did, which is why we've done what we've done. Right, we want Karaman. Quintana has won the stage. 4K to go. On to Ryabovas. Kikovji. Let's get out of the way. We'll take a look. That's Bernal attacking, I believe. It is. Gonzalez Albiol falling back. He needs to gel. He's going to lose a lot of time today. Isakov. No, that low red bar. 3.6K. Here's the great news about Bernal today. He's going solo, and he's being chased fairly well. Gel. Gel. And Gel. Isakov falling off the pace, but Karaman keep it up just fine. Ryabovas. Push just a hair harder. 2.6K. And you see how he's gaining now. Let's see what a 99 does for a moment. Will he gain? Will he catch those two? He has caught Bernal. Martin Guerrero now. 89 sounds good. Oh, come on, Ryabovas. Ryabovas blocks him off. 1.8K. And Martin Guerrero's done. He's got just a hair bit of yellow bar left. And on to Petrov. Now you can see the other guys are actually working in tandem. They did have team support. But look at Karaman, 1.3K to go. And he's in a pretty good spot with quite a bit of energy. Let's see what he can do with it. Bernal somehow still rode away. Final kilometer, pushing a little harder. These guys are all attacking, but they're attacking pretty early. 600 meters, 400 meters, 300 meters, sprint for the line. So Quintana has won the stage. Gabretz Kabir from the breakaway took third.
For the back markers, who appear to be fairly numerous in this difficult
We did
race.
not catch Bernal. That's the insane part here. Karaman, team, the whole effort, like, looked beautiful. Karaman was still in good shape. We had right there on the wheel of Bernal. Bernal had already attacked solo and didn't get away. Did not get away. And Karaman was still fresh. And yet, Bernal still had the endless amounts of energy that even after a failed attack, which should have drained his red bar and a good bit of his yellow bar, and should have, at the very least, put Karaman on equal footing with him, Karaman barely made it to the finish line there in 19th. Bernal, while 14th, had a pretty healthy gap to us at the finish line. 30 seconds. So it's 22 seconds that Bernal ended up gaining. Paulus gained 13. We were on same time, crossing the line with Higuita and Carapaz, Moss, Gegenhardt, who is now in the mix after he climbed the order, winning his stage. Petrov was not far behind, just over a minute down. Martin Guerrero. Gonzalez Albiol definitely lost a lot of time today, dropping him down the order quite a bit. So Bernal now leads by 50 seconds. We are still 10 seconds ahead of Carapaz. Nairo Quintana, who won today's stage, who was not in the mix at all, but gained 12 minutes was enough for Nairo Quintana to now be at a minute and 6, just off the podium. But the 37-year-old is a 78 mountain, 71 resistance, 65 stamina. Don't look for him to last in the top 10 for long. He'll be back in the breakaway soon enough. Moss, Hagita, Isau still in the mix. Pernsteiner, Arnsman, and Gegenhardt. Nielsen Palace rounds out the inside 7-minute group. But we're looking at, your contenders are, 6 now, but Quintana, whatever. Same 5 are still here. Gonzalez Albiol had his fitness peak end about 2 days ago, but he still has +1 with the objective. Isakov and Martin Guerrero have triggered their fitness peak today. Karaman and Riabovis will trigger their fitness peaks tomorrow. That will put the team in its best shape of this race. The only unfortunate thing about the wait till tomorrow for Karaman part is what is likely the hardest stage of this tour. It's today. Tomorrow's another hard one though, so we should at least have a good race day condition for that. Likely a +3 type scenario on that one, or at least a +2. For this one though, 4 mega climbs plus a little extra finishing climb and 230k. 60k to go here on the stage 15 now. We have 2 mountain stages after this one, stage 16 and then stage 20. So we are actually getting quite close to the end of this tour already. But this is a pretty big test. Now we have the whole team intact, 160 left in the peloton. Not too many riders were dropped over those first 2 climbs. Those riders are well behind and going to get a lot further back. You can see for now we're trying to hold that 75, but with the tempo picking up, we've got a little bit of a flat section here, which means I need to now kind of up the effort to regain our position a little bit as we conserved on that first little chunk of the climb. But as we go through this easier place, we should get our position back here fairly well. But the official climb is just about to begin, so this part semi-steep, but then it will ease off for a little bit. So we don't want to up the effort much yet. When we get to the really steep part, that's where we want to kick things off. Okay, here's that easier part. Now we want to make up that ground, get up into position, and let's see how far back. Isakov is the furthest back at the moment. Petrov. Come on, Isakov. What's the deal, buddy? Nobody in front of you. You look like you're checking up. The field's pushing. Ineos is pushing pretty hard right now.
The pace is so
This is good.
high that a few riders are going to be
This is good.
very sorry at the end
Peloton's
of the
already
day.
shrinking. 144. The breakaway, 10 riders had a huge advantage. They're down to 8. That previous climb dropped a couple, but their gap is down to 5 minutes. So they are no longer looking likely to go out and destroy the field and take back time. Especially worrying about that group was a number of guys that are only 8 to 10 or 11 minutes behind in the GC after numerous attempts in the break and that last stage
This
with
climb
all
features
that
some
time that
dreadful
group gained.
percentages.
Okay, where is Kraman's a little bit far back right now. I'm not quite happy with where he's at. Gel up for these first guys. And Gonzalez Albiol is not doing too well either with the tempo, so we're going to have to
There's
up
a
his
sustained
tempo
rhythm at the moment.
if
Some
he's going to
riders definitely
contribute.
will be able to
He's
keep
got
up.
to be higher up. Gegenhardt way back here, but not working, so they are leaving him in place. Thinking about GC. Kikovci, Riabovis, Martin Guerrero, just about done here. He needs to be protecting Karaman now. Iskov Petrov can take that duty over here shortly. Gonzalez Albiol has slowly recovered his position a little bit, but it's more about the field thinning out than him actually moving up. Guys have moved back and he's kind of scooted on past him, but he hasn't necessarily put himself in an ideal place. Alright, unlike the last stage, this time we're definitely seeing a lot of action. And it's Ineos. Ineos is absolutely for Carapaz, for Gegenhardt, trying to isolate Bernal, isolate Adria, isolate team leaders. Martin Guerrero now going backwards. I'd like to get Iskov up there. Let's put him on that for now. Let's see, Iskov or Petrov. Both of them are a little bit out of the standings. Petrov climbing a little bit better today, so he can go ahead and protect. So Salvial will take this duty over once he gets back up there. 75 still in the peloton, but we are down in numbers quite a bit. And this is Adria attacking.
He's off on his own. The team sponsor won't be disappointed.
I'd like to wait till the next climb to be doing something. So let's see. Ineos has lifted the pace. Ghana still here, but fading. He spent quite some time in the top of the standings. Adria out to 34 seconds. And there's like Reese, who's gained a lot of time. He's at 8:57. I think he's the highest placed of the breakaway riders now, and that group is all kinds of split up. We have got to keep an eye on how far away is Adria, as we do not want him running away with this thing. So Adria, we don't know what kind of time he is on. Not far. He's 26 seconds ahead right now. That's okay. That is okay. He is being chased down. He's... never mind. He's in 20th. He is only in 20th. He is definitely one of the top climbers, but he is not a threat. But what is a threat is Karaman by being isolated for the entirety of the next climb. We've got a peloton of just 25 riders now. Gonzalez Albiol does not make it. Or does he? He's in the chase group that has just barely lost contact here. 10 riders chasing 33 at the moment.
No mistakes on their trajectory. The pack is not fighting for it. It's clear as day.
I didn't think I was going to need water, but it sure looks like I do now. 43 riders left here. The length of the climbs is really doing the damage. And a big push on this descent. Meanwhile, I'm thinking, hey, we need to recover as much energy as possible on this descent, preparing for the climb to come. And some guys pushing are going to prevent that. So this is going to be an interesting final climb. Now we have made up some ground. Ooh. Holy crap, that scared me. It's Martin Guerrero. It's just Martin Guerrero. He's down with a number of riders. We'll see if he's okay here shortly, but Gonzalez Albiol back in place, needs to protect Karaman, and we need to up the effort on these guys. With only 4, I'm not confident in going sprint train style with 9k to go on this climb, plus a following climb with Karaman only on a +1. He's not looking good. That 82 mountain, that 74 stamina resistance clearly is not doing too well today. Adria on the attack again, but not a threat, surprisingly. Could be, should be, but isn't. Sam Oomen coming back. There's a disappointing rider. I remember probably 3 editions ago of PCM, maybe 4 editions ago, he was the Pagacher of the time. As in, he was the young talent. I don't know how old he is now, but he was the one that you looked at and said, Quintana's attacking. Okay, here we go. Quintana is somebody we do need to respond to, as he's only a few seconds behind us. Hagita, Palace, Sal. Yeah, these are all the contenders on the move. We're gonna have to push a little bit harder because we don't want them getting away.
Survival of the fittest, and evolution doesn't seem to favor those in the rear. There's a growing list of riders left behind.
First attack negated, but now Palace, Verona, continuing to attack guys that really shouldn't be in this position. What's the final going to entail? 3K, just under 7%. So there's still 7K worth of climbing. Petrov's going to have to take over. Karaman's going to be on his own for that 7K of climbing. That's looking tough. That is looking tough. But things are all kinds of split up for Vecchi. Then Sevenant. There's Ironsman, 9th place. Yates. Simon Yates all the way down to 31st. But he is working for the team. There's Uman, falling back from the break. Pronsky, he was higher up the order earlier. And we're down to 24. Isakov, the only one looking like he's about to get dropped. Storer not doing too well. Godon, Arroyo, Covey, Boknoge. Is he struggling at the back here? Aries, 18th, 9.5 minutes down. That's a breakaway rider that we're coming back at. And we are doing just enough at the moment that Isakov has regained contact and Petrov is keeping the tempo as high as he can, not allowing anybody to get back on. Still climbing faster than guys like Aries, who's a 76. Petrov today, 81 on the mountain, so he's still without any energy, climbing faster than those guys. And Karaman has a good bit. This is Verona. This is KOM. These guys are attacking for the KOM. They are 2nd and 3rd in the King of the Mountains classification. And there was only one other rider away, which is Champion. Down to 22 riders. A couple riders have been dropped. Isakov is still here, but he is way, way, way at the back of this thing. He's not going to make it up. He's not going to be a factor. Karaman is going to gel right now, and we're about to begin the climb. Do I want to attack? It's 3K. No, I don't want to attack. I want to follow. Follow these guys. Karaman really not following very well, but now he is in line.
He's going for victory.
And we're down to 9. Carapaz is about to attack. We want to follow that one. And we didn't. We didn't. Are we still attacking? It looks like we're following an attack, but we're really not. $1.3K. Heading into the final kilometer. Champion has taken the stage. 800 meters. Pushing hard on the way to the finish line, but not sprinting. It's too steep for that. 300 meters. Now we can sprint it out. And we followed an attack, and the button failed us. Carapaz, Hagita gain a tiny amount of time. Bernal, we still can't beat Bernal. Nothing we do can get us ahead of Bernal. But Quintana, nowhere near the top of the standings. Moss is there, Higuita is there, Carapaz is there. So it's just Quintana down in 19th, who's going to lose a big chunk of time today. There's certainly some other contenders, Paulus, who have lost time. But I do think we lost maybe 10 seconds on this stage. So the gap was 17 seconds. Bernal, Carapaz, Higuita on up the road. Also time bonuses for Carapaz and Higuita to go with it. So that does bump us to third place. This is expected though. Ineos are crazy strong, even though Carapaz is similar as us to a rider. When you add in that crazy high acceleration, when you add in the extreme bonuses, the 25% bonus to attributes, or 5%, whatever it is, when you give him a +4 to each of those, you give him a +4 to that mountain rating, it's really tough to keep up with. Generally, we pull that off fairly well, but Ineos as a team is just stacked with climbers. Those climbers today put my climbers under pressure, and my climbers were dropped. That's why Karaman was ultimately so low throughout the end of that, and with just a +1, he didn't have enough bonuses to beat the likes of Carapaz. The disappointing part, of course, was we had the energy, we clicked follow, attack, and we didn't follow the attack. And so when those couple guys went clear, Bernal was the only one who bridged the gap because, Mr. 85's is just too dang good. We're only a minute behind him. But now we're, a baker's dozen behind Carapaz in terms of seconds. But the gap behind is looking fairly good. It's almost 2 minutes to Moss. It is 2 minutes to Higuita. Quintana falling backwards, but still in 6th. Still technically in contention. But Paulus dropped out of contention. Asau somehow still around after his breakaway bonus, but the 22-year-old does have an 80 for mountain rating. Gegenhardt also hanging on and moving up the order a bit for Ineos, giving them a 2-front attack and not working for Carapaz, but the whole rest of the team is. Iskov still 15th, but we're realistically, those last two contenders, I've almost got enough time on them, almost, to say we're good. But, they're who I've been racing with. Carapaz, tough to beat under the circumstances, but he's who I've been racing with. Bernal's just on another level. Honestly, so far so good. I mean, yes, we were in second for a moment, but I was looking at this field, always going, hey, I think we can get third, and I'd be pretty dang happy with third. And where are we with 2 mountain stages to go and nothing else decisive? We're right there. We are right there. But it's going to take a really bad day from either of those 2 top guys for us to get back ahead of them. Carapaz, with just seconds, we might be able to beat him. But I just, the funny thing is they can have a -1 race day condition, and they can lose 2 or 3 minutes. And those days, we do everything in our power and struggle and hang on and just about make it there. That was the hardest stage, and we were right there to the end. And that was without the fitness peak, which finally starts tomorrow. Finally. So let's hope that those last couple of stages, we get a +3 or a +4 on a mountain stage. We're going to have like 4 riders on fitness peaks. So let's hope we have a group of riders with really good race day condition. And who knows? Maybe we can still beat Carapaz to second place. Maybe we get lucky and Bernal has a terrible day. We've seen it happen. It's not over yet. I don't like our chances. I think third is probably where we're destined to be. But it's not over yet, nor are we safe from sliding down the order a little bit. I do think we're safe when it comes to Quintana. He gained 12 minutes on a breakaway. He would be 15 minutes down, and that's about where he belongs in real life, and at 4 or 5 years older in game than he is in real life. Quintana is not the rider who was taking podiums at the Tour in his early 20s and hasn't been for a number of years. And he's still with Arceus Amsic on game. Anyway, that's going to do it for this one. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there, and bye for now.